Hi, this is Lucy Hutchison, and this is my visual introduction for Full Sail University. I'm going to talk about my home island of Guam. It's also known as where America's Day begins. This is because it's so far west that it's actually the first U.S. territory to hit the new year, or for the time to change. So when Y2K happened, you can imagine that everybody was staring at Guam just to find out would our entire civilization turn off when Y2K happened. It didn't, and we were still here. But it's what it's known for, is where America's Day begins. You may not have heard of Guam, or you may think of an island and think that, okay, everyone lives in huts and wear grass skirts. But the life in the jungle, this particular jungle, is actually not as native. It's very developed at this point. The tourism industry is Guam's #1 industry. Guam doesn't manufacture anything, they just use what nature's already given them. And so there's lots of hotels, and because it's 3 hours from Japan, it's also the #1 tourist destination for South Asia. So we get millions of visitors from China, Japan, and Korea. And because of its location being so close to Asia, it's also a very strategic location for the United States. We have a very large naval base there as well, and a very large Air Force base. And with all that water, you can just imagine that scuba diving is one of the best things in the world to do there. I remember meeting someone here in Texas, and they were on Guam, and they just kept raving about how beautiful the waters were and how beautiful it was under the water. There's a lot of stuff to do over the water as well. Lots of water activities, swimming, snorkeling, paddling, and of course fishing. There's a lot of seafood that you eat on this island. And life happens around the dinner table on Guam. Lots of parties, lots of barbecues, and there's such a hospitality-driven culture that you can be a complete stranger and they would just invite you over for dinner. It wouldn't matter. The people of Guam are so resilient. The island gets hit by typhoons, which are hurricanes, but in the Pacific Ocean. Frequently, almost every year there's a typhoon. Some of the fastest typhoons, strongest typhoons were like 200-mile-per-hour winds. And so the people of Guam have just learned to be resilient. They are such a beautiful people. They have maintained their culture from generation to generation, passing it down to the next child, and even sharing it with the visitors that come to the island. And because they were liberated from the Japanese, really they celebrate so much of their freedom, so much peace there, very laid back. It's the island life. And so that's a little bit of my island, the island of Guam. Thank you.